Dolenkoff firing it up the near boards, right. Trying to work it into the corner to Verbeek. He'll center it out front. They score! Nieuwendyk!
It's on Karpa, who is perhaps their most physical defenseman. And the Stars are winning these little one-on-one battles. He came in late on Jure Lehtinen in the corner, down in the left wing corner, and he inexplicably just planted him. It was about 10 feet away from where the puck was at the time. So the Stars get a chance here for the second time in the first period on the power play.
58 seconds remaining in the power play for Dallas. Nieuwendyk into the slot. Verbeek will chase it to the near boards, into the corner for Marshall. The Nieuwendyk, he scores!
He skates at about Mach 1, not Mach 2, Mach 1, and he loves to play physical. He got in on Karpa, who doesn't mind the rough stuff himself. And they need some offense out of 15.
He had 17 goals in his first 37 games. Now the Stars control Lehtinen. Langenbrunner, slap shot, he scores! All we got to do is talk about it. Face off in the Anaheim zone. Nieuwendyk against Drury. Nieuwendyk won it right to the point. Chambers a shot, and he fired just wide. Here's Verbeek spinning it out front. Nieuwendyk, hat-trick! Now Cullen again, behind the Dallas goal. Stick handling, and keep it away from Sador. They center it out front, they score! Bonham! Now from center ice, it bounces. Jamie Wright is in, can't get the shot away as he's hooked from behind. Leboutillier had a stick on him. And the Stars battle for it in the near corner. Verbeek threw a big hit. Jamie Langenbrunner can't find it. It's played around behind to the near board side. Leboutillier hammered by Juha Lind. He's thrown some good checks in this game.
They've been ferocious at times, this line, and very tenacious on the puck all game long.
Now he's going to ram Trinka. Attacking, high slot, leaving it to Stevenson. A shot, and Turek comes out on the top of his crease and accepts the puck, and then hangs on to it, keeping it a 4-1 score, and then a little pushing and shoving off to his left.
Stevenson, who hasn't seen an abundance of ice time in this game here tonight. A quick one-timer by Stevenson, and then he just carried on through and said, you want to play so you think you're tough, about 4 feet away from. And then he went in and tried to rip the stitches off of Daryl Sador. Obviously, a tough guy with hair on his chin. There's a few of them down there that have the goatee look, the 90s look of the Gen Xers on the Duck side of things.
Stevenson from that hockey hotbed of San Bernardino,
yeah,
California.
They produce some good ones out there.
Yeah. Matvichuk in possession there across to Kesmer at center ice. Now to Tansel, he's in. Carbonneau in the slot, a shot, he scores! Karpa behind his goal, watched by Adams, who has a tug on him. A penalty coming up here against Greg Adams.
He took a pretty good elbow after he did it, though. The free hand and the clutch on, and no question, as Karpa tried to get back to it, and then the Gordie Howe elbow up into the chops. They stared at one another with some visual daggers.
Bangs along the near boards with Selanne. Adams comes to center and fires it in. Going after Tansel. He threw a hit. Staggered Bannister. Adams in the left wing corner. Centering pass in front, and Tansel works it out to the point to Ludwig. A shot. Botterill tips it up and into the stands. And Jason Botterill pushed by Severin and Pronger. And Botterill not backing down in the least.
Well, Severin's tried to pick a couple fights in this game already, and he's had a tough time as far as finding somebody to catch up to on defense. And maybe the best way to do it is to drop your gloves, grab onto him, and start swinging.
Right still all over him. They center it. Travis Green holding it in at the left point, throwing it, and then getting tossed by Muni along the near boards. Turek makes the catch. And then in the corner, Daryl Sador and Warren Reichel have a grip on each other.
There have been a couple of pretty good thump hits here in the third period. That line that's out there right now for Anaheim can bump. That's their job, to go out there and run into people a little bit.
That's where Selanne will pick it up for the Ducks. Hustling out to center ice. Selanne attacking against Ludwig. Got around him into the right wing corner. Behind the net to Sandstrom, and then Selanne.
This is gonna be a gang war now.
Yeah, Selanne is taken down hard by Ludwig.
Well, that's going to be trouble. They tried to get at Ludwig afterwards, and he threw a pretty good elbow at Selanne as he tried to sneak around him coming down the right wing wall. Selanne's down. They've already had problems with their other superstar there. That's obvious. And Mr. Ludwig's now lobbying with the referee, Lance Roberts, as some of the Ducks try to get at him. Marshall's the main combatant, the marshal for Anaheim, who wants to get at Ludwig. And Ludwig, I think, would like to oblige because he's been a frustrated guy having to deal with all the obstruction calls and what's going on. And it may have just boiled over.
Well, meanwhile, Teemu Selanne is down and down behind the Dallas goal. And this is not good. I don't know. I didn't see the elbow. We'll get a chance now to look at it again.
Well, Selanne got a step. He has great speed, and he just stepped around the hip of Ludwig, and as Ludwig spun to the middle and turned back towards the corner, he met Selanne right where the puck was and hit him hard and hit him high, and his head was right against the glass. And just as Modano got injured last night in Phoenix, and Modano said, you know, if that was at home, I probably wouldn't have a separated shoulder.
And now Ludwig from the penalty bench is trying to get at
Karpa.
Karpa's trying to get at him. Ludwig threw his stick into the stands. And now there's players wrestled down in front of the penalty box. While Karpa was jabbing at Ludwig, Ludwig grabbed the stick, and I think it was Karpa's stick that he hoisted up into the seats. Meanwhile, Teemu Selanne is up on one knee behind the Dallas goal, and Ludwig is safely tucked away in the penalty box.
Well, Greg Smith, the Ducks trainer, is out there still dealing with Selanne, and this is just, you know, coming to the rescue of your superstar and trying to even things up, and you can't completely blame the Ducks. I don't think they're going to get their pound of flesh, though, not here tonight. Karpa's gone.
And they're going to leave Ludwig for safekeeping in there for the moment. And you know, you do have to respect that, the fact that Anaheim saw that their superstar was down, and they went after him. Sure. I don't have in the slightest a problem with that.
Boy, did he get thundered. Seismic hit by Ludwig, who can do that, and it would have been a fair hit if he'd have stayed down, but he got up, and he got the elbow up on him. Right in, as Selanne was trying to pull it off the boards, he got hit high. He got hit with an elbow and a lot of body, and it was just an avalanche of Ludwig humanity that caught him. You hope for the league and for the Ducks and for Teemu Selanne that he's going to be okay. It's a physical game. Korea went out, and now Ludwig is being ushered off, and I'm sure Pierre Pagé is going to have something to say, and they're going to have a tough time, and the benches are up and at one another, and look out, gang, look out.
Now you can't leave the bench, and Lance Roberts is going over there to make sure that that does not happen.
Le Boutelier is the guy who wants to get at Ludwig from their bench, and he's a tough guy. He's a tough cookie, and they better have some security down there and get Ludwig off into the locker room, get this game over with, and move on.
Ludwig is on his way to the bench, and you know, for a team that hasn't played much like a team together tonight, they have certainly rallied behind Teemu Selanne.
Pagé's going to come over, and I'm sure look for a lot more than just a 2-minute minor. I don't know what Lance Roberts is going to call on it. There's a case for an elbow. I don't know how much more. The linesmen are trying to get people out of there. Boy, you see the two benches up and come at one another like that, and it gets scary. Well, you know, you can understand why the Anaheim Mighty Ducks are so upset. And the main reason is that they lost Korea, now they've lost Selanne, and they're hoping that they don't lose them for a long time. And now they just need to get the silliness out of the way and get on with the game. They're going to kick out the big tough guy, Le Boutelier, who was trying to get at Ludwig on his way out. The dressing rooms underneath are separated by a considerable... Oh, now he throws his stick. So he threw his stick back again. He lost his faculties.
Well, and the Ducks have really, as we've talked about, I mean, the frustration has to be just enormous. And Roman Turek will again provide a souvenir as he goes over and puts Le Boutelier's stick into the stands. Nothing that will happen in the next 4 minutes will be positive for either side. It's it's a case raiser of the next 4:08. You want to get through it, you want to get out of it, and you don't want to see Anaheim exact a measure of revenge on somebody else. In 2 minutes, the Ducks will have a major power play with which to work, barring no future minors, and put an asterisk by that because that still could happen. Now, Matvichuk is taken down by Stevenson. Stars attack at center ice. Kesmer will play it in. Referee Lance Roberts is not looking in the direction of the puck, but behind at the physical play.
Well, Stevenson threw a quick elbow, and he's just looking for anybody in green and gold and black to run into.
3:25 to play. The Ducks get it out to center ice. Tansel there. He's up with Peter Duras. Sador and Chambers, the defenseman.
I'm sorry, Rob. It's just cheap shot city now. As soon as one of the Stars moves the puck, somebody comes over and takes a cheap shot at him. This will be ugly hockey for 3 minutes. There are some tough guys out there right now for Anaheim. Severin can throw them. Reichel's a real tough customer. Pronger, big boy, you know all about his brother up in St. Louis. Great defenseman and a tough individual. They're all out there right now, so keep your head up is the battle cry on the ice right now.
Muni, Sador, Adams, and Carbonneau for the Stars, with Roman Turek, the goaltender. Pronger will come in and work the draw as Reichel was pitched. 3:12 to play.
There you go, right off.
And here we go. Reichel's going to go, and he drags down one of the Stars. Now Sador's going. He dragged down Muni. Sador grabs onto Severin. Pronger's got a partner. Everybody's got a partner. Severin has Sador down on the ice.
It's a joke.
Muni has his man down. And
it's a joke.
It is a joke. The fans here are getting riled up, but again, only bad things can happen here. I mean, the Stars have enough problems.
Just a joke.
Adams is hanging on for dear life as Bannister is trying to exact a measure of revenge. Severin is trying to pound Sador, and there isn't enough bodies on the ice to break him up. Now Turek's trying to help out, and Roberts and Turek are having a discussion as Sador is down in the circle and not moving.
It's just a joke. It's an absolute joke. This is farcical. Sador's hurt, and he was in a set two with Severin. And it just makes you sick.
And I don't want to be critical of our own building, but do we have to play? You want to fight for your right to party. I mean, it's like, do we get it or not here? I mean, this is not a good situation on the ice at all. Reichel is on his way off. 3:08 remaining in the game. And Daryl Sador.
He's probably got a busted nose. That's probably what he has. I mean, you can see it coming a mile away. There better be some big-time suspensions out of that. Because the one thing that Brian Burke and the czars of discipline in the NHL talk about is premeditation. Passionate fights in this game are fine, and they've been allowed forever. You get 5 minutes and you go off. But premeditated buffoonery shouldn't be allowed, and that's what this was. Right off the face-off, Reichel just grabbed onto Muni and started throwing punches, and then in everybody came, and what do? You just grab on and hope for the best.
3:08 remaining. This is the fourth and final meeting of the season. These teams will not play again until next year. Anaheim,
you know they won't meet in the playoffs.
No, I was just going to say, Anaheim, you can put your money on it. Anaheim is headed nowhere this year.
Right off the face-off, 22-16. Reichel didn't even look at the puck being dropped and then grabbed onto Craig Muni and ripped his helmet off. Sador came in to try to help out. And then Severin came in and grabbed Daryl Sador. It looked like Daryl Sador was the most injured of the bunch after having to deal with Severin, who's a tough guy. And you can see this coming a mile away. A mile away. Well, now they have to sort it out. There is shrapnel all over in the Stars zone and in sticks and gloves and everything else. And the Stars continue to just look over at that Anaheim bench like, you know, what's next? Who's next? Sador's on the bench, seems to be okay. He must have got popped a good one right in the nose. He already has stitches on his lips from a passionate disagreement with one of his teammates in practice last week. And he's going to have a mouse under his eye, probably both of them after that, but he remains on the bench. A lot of penalties on the board, and I know you wrote them down, Ralph. You want to run through them?
Carbonneau 2 for roughing, Adams a double minor for roughing, Sador 5 for fighting, and Muni 5 for fighting. For the Ducks, as I have it, Reichel 2 for instigating, 5 for fighting, and a misconduct, 10-minute misconduct. Severin had 5 minutes for fighting and a 10-minute misconduct. Bannister 5 for fighting, Pronger 2 for roughing, and here we go again!
Botterill just massaged. Oh, man. Well, Hitchcock came out with a big lineup. He has Marshall, Botterill, and Verbeek out there, and those are three guys that know how to handle one another and themselves.
Now at center ice, there are really two main events still trying to get underway. Verbeek has a grab of one of the Ducks. I can't tell, the sweater is up, and the good one that's going in the circle, I think it's Grant Marshall.
Well, Botterill made short work of Ruchin after he came after him right on the drop of the puck. Man, are there going to be some suspensions out of this one? Is it Stevenson that Verbeek has, or is it one of their defensemen? I can't tell.
I can't even tell.
Off.
Well, we got through 2 seconds. And Grant Marshall still having a pretty good toe-to-toe, and a right cross by Marshall. Whoever it is for the Ducks is trying to fling him. Now they both go down to the ice. Verbeek coming over to make sure Marshall's okay. I have not seen this for a long time, and the only thing that comes to mind is the inaugural year here in Dallas, in Chicago, on New Year's Eve.
Well, they have a bad team, and they have a warped sense of retribution, the Ducks.
I mean, as we talked about, it's fine to want to stick up for your star players. There's no problem with that, but once that point was made, once the point was attempted to be made, then it's premeditated, and they're gaining nothing here.
Well, they came into the game as one of the most penalized teams in the league. Only Buffalo and Vancouver have racked up more penalty minutes. Well, it's pretty easy. Right off the face-off, Ruchin runs in. Botterill grabbed onto him. They had him in a headlock, and then the gloves came off, and away they went, and everybody off the face-off went at it. So both sides, did Botterill ever land a right on Ruchin? And Ruchin doesn't do a lot of that.
No. All right.
Duck penalties, 15 Mironov, 20 Ruchin, 24 Selanne, 5 minutes each for fighting. Dallas penalties, number 38, Botterill, 2 minutes for instigation, 5 minutes for fighting, and a 10-minute misconduct. Number 16, Verbeek. Number 29, Marshall, 5 minutes each for fighting. Time of the penalties, 16:54.
All right, so we'll skate 3 skaters aside. The Ducks have 1 player left on their bench. 1. And the backup goaltender. And now we'll see what happens here. Sandstrom, Stevenson, and Soleil. And for the Stars, Langenbrunner, Duras, and Kesmer.
Well, Stevenson's going to want to get over towards either Langenbrunner or somebody else. You know that.
Well, they play it in. Langenbrunner hit by Sandstrom. Duras will pick it up. Behind the play, here we go. It's Jamie Langenbrunner and Jeremy Stevenson. And the linesmen get in quickly to try and bust it up. Scherz using his big frame to pull Stevenson away from Langenbrunner. And now the Anaheim Mighty Ducks have 3 players, and 3 players only, to finish the game.
Well, either Pierre Paget has absolutely no control of his team, or he's just allowed this, one or the other. Well, I knew Stevenson was going to go after Langenbrunner. They've had a problem with one another all game long, and he wanted to line up against Jamie Langenbrunner on that side, and then he just came around when the puck went in deep. Langenbrunner grabbed on, and they had a little wrestle fest. I don't think any big punches were thrown in that one either. Wow.
Now the Ducks, they can't lose anybody else. They can't. They got 3 players, and they got to play with 3 in the goaltender. And so let's see. Well, Cullen, Sandstrom, and Soleil. And the Stars have 3 out on the ice. Kesmer will pick it up. He lost it. Cullen with a steal. He's in. He scores. How does that happen? Neuendijk working against Selanne. In he comes, drags it around him. Askey, the goaltender, is going to be called for delaying the game. Oh, my goodness me. And there's nobody to serve the penalty.
No. And here's where I'm trying to figure out. I think what's going to happen is Lance Roberts not even going to give him the penalty.
Well, it's not on the board. They're going to run out of space. And
I think he's just going to wait. He's going to decline it. He's declining it. Askey came out to play the puck and whipped it right into the crowd. You can't do that. So they don't call everything. They do have marbles in their pockets.
1:18 to play. Matvechuk wrestling it free. He'll take it ahead. Neuendijk, a breakaway. Here he goes for number 4 against the kid. He scores! Final minute of play. Thank goodness. Here's Pronger ahead. A right wing pass to Drury in front of the Dallas bench. Lettinen jams him there. Ducks recover at center. Dallas Stars are about to break a 5-game winless streak. Ducks are in on the attack. Drury snaps one off, and they score on the rebound. Pronger. Oh, boy. 6-3.
Doesn't even resemble an NHL game anymore. You know, it's just, I don't know what it is. Well, they rushed in, and there have been some defensive lapses, and understandably so. Turk made the save on the shot from the right-hand side. Nobody picked up Pronger, who came through and popped the rebound in.
Joe Neuendijk leads the Stars with 4 goals in a 6-3 win in a game that will be remembered for something else altogether.
Oh, they're going to be busy boys in the league office trying to figure this one out. There were only 2 games tonight in the NHL, so a lot of focus was on this one. And it just turned into complete buffoonery and a travesty of what the game really is down the stretch. And now Pierre Pagé wants more of referee Lance Roberts. Just move on.
And Roberts is saying, come on.
This one's over. Come on. Oh, well, the good thing is it's a win for Dallas if you're a Dallas Stars fan. Outside of that, it just turned into something I don't enjoy.
Stars outshot the Ducks 31-25, and the final scoreboard says Dallas 6 and Anaheim 3. The Stars pick up win number 39, and they stay first in the Western Conference, trailing New Jersey by 1 point in the race for the President's Trophy. We'll come back and have more on the Dallas Stars Hockey Network.